स्टूडेंट्स, आज हम प्लांट पैथोलॉजी के पेपर में जो टॉपिक है डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म इन प्लांट्स उसके बारे में पढ़ेंगे। इसका पार्ट 1 पढ़ेंगे और नेक्स्ट क्लास के अंदर इसका पार्ट 2 हम पढ़ेंगे। जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि ऑल प्लांट्स हैव रेजिस्टेंस टू सम पैथोजन अंडर सर्टेन कंडीशंस। Host parasite relationships may be inhibited or completely hindered if the host is able to ward off the pathogen by passive or by active process. The capability or the ability of a plant to defend itself against a pathogen is governed by its genetic constitution or the environmental conditions under which the gene operates. The attributes of the host that reduce the chances of infection or the development of the pathogen are considered to be the defense mechanisms. Different plants defend themselves against pathogens in different ways. The defense mechanism of plants against pathogens fall in two categories. Number 1 is morphological or structural defense mechanism, and number 2 is biochemical defense mechanism. In this lecture, we will discuss about morphological or structural defense mechanism. The first line of defense against pathogen is the surface barrier, which is a pathogen must penetrate before it can cause infection. The entry of pathogens may either be through the epidermal cell walls directly or through the natural openings of the epidermis such as stomata, lenticles, hydatoids, or through injured areas caused by living or non-living agencies. Once a pathogen has gained entry into the host, its movement and spread is further checked between or through succulent parenchymatous cells and in the vascular diseases through the lumen of xylem vessels. Certain structural features of the epidermis or its interior may greatly affect the ability of a pathogen to penetrate or to invade a host plant. Such morphological defense structures may be present before the penetration or infection or may be produced afterwards as a result of interaction of host and the pathogen. This is the morphological or structural defense mechanism. So, we can discuss morphological or structural defense mechanism in two headings: defense structures existing before infection and defense structures formed after infection. Number 1 is defense structures existing before infection. We will include in this topic waxes and cuticles, structure of epidermal cell wall, structure of natural openings, and internal structure barriers to pathogen invasion. First is waxes and cuticle. The cuticle, which consists of a cutine and waxes, forms the outermost covering of the epidermal cells and appears as a non-cellular membranous layer. Waxes play a defensive role by forming a hydrophobic surface which acts as a water repellent and thereby prevent the retention of water on sloping plant surface on which pathogens might be deposited or subsequently further invade the host. The cuticle acts as a physical or chemical barriers to the infection. Second one is structure of epidermal cell wall. The thick and tough outer wall of epidermal cells forms an important barrier for certain pathogens. Lignification or the presence of silicic acid in the epidermis of some plant act as a important structural defense mechanism. In some cases of rice blast fungus, that is Pyricularia oryza, the outer wall of the most of the epidermal cells are lignified, and the entry of the pathogen is generally through the thin-walled motor cells having pectin rather than lignin. And another example is the suberin deposition in the potato tuber cells enables better resistance to the penetration by some pathogens. Third one is structure of natural openings. As we know, most pathogens enter plants through the natural openings. In the case of stem rust of wheat caused by Puccinia graminis tritici, the varieties in which stomata open late in the morning are resistant because the germ tube of the spores germinating in the night do desiccate. This is due to the evaporation of the dew before the stomata begins to the open. This is, so we can say this is the defense mechanism existing before infection. Next one is internal structure barriers to the pathogen invasion. In certain varieties of wheat, the presence of bundles or increased area of sclerenchyma cells prevent infection in cereal rust. This diagram shows the structure of natural opening acts as the defense structures. In diagram A, this is the stomata of Ginkgum mandarian of orange. In this species, in this plant, this is a resistance of citrus canker bacterium because it possesses a broad cuticular ridge projecting over the stomata. We can see this projection in diagram very clear, and a narrow slit leading to the stomatal cavity so that the raindrop containing fungal spores and bacteria really reach the mesophyll of the cells. तो ये स्ट्रक्चर भी हमें दिखाई पड़ रहा है कि ये एस पीज द स्टोमेटल पोर. ये स्टोमेटल पोर जो है इसकी स्ट्रक्चर इस तरह से है कि जो फंगल स्पोर जो होता है वो इसके अंदर जा नहीं पाता है. तो ये इसकी रेजिस्टेंस वैरायटी है. तो ये हो गया कि नेचुरल ओपनिंग जो है वो डिफेंस स्ट्रक्चर के रूप में कैसे काम कर रही है. और सेकंड डायग्राम जो बी है इसमें हम देख रहे हैं कि ये वैरायटी जो है इसकी ससेप्टाइबल है. इसके अंदर जो स्टोमेटल पोर है देखिए बिल्कुल चौड़ा है, तो इसके अंदर जो फंगल स्पोर्स जो होते हैं वो इजीली इसके अंदर प्रवेश कर पाते हैं. तो यहाँ पर जो है स्टोमेटल ओपनिंग है वो डिफेंस स्ट्रक्चर के रूप में काम नहीं कर रही है. नेक्स्ट इज डिफेंस स्ट्रक्चर्स फॉर्म्ड आफ्टर इन्फेक्शन. Defense structures are produced inside the host plant to block or to prevent the spread of pathogen. These structures are cork layers, tylosis, and abscission layer, deposition of gums, resins, and tannin-like substance, swelling of cell walls, and sheathing of hyphae. First is formation of cork layer. In the Rhizoctania disease of potato tuber following infection, cork layers are produced just below the area of infection. This diagram is showing the formation of cork layer. This layer prevents further invasion by the pathogen. It blocks the spread of toxic substances produced by the pathogen and checks the flow of nutrients and water from the healthy to the infected area, and this results in the starvation of the pathogen. In this way, it acts as a defense mechanism. The speed of the formation of defense barrier is also important. Next one is formation of tylosis. Tyloses are the overgrowth of the protoplasm of adjacent living parenchymatous cells which protrude into xylem vessels through half-bordered pits. Tyloses are usually considered to be the one of the factors which cause wilt. The time and rapidity of the formation of tyloses determines whether their role will be the defensive or whether they themselves will be the one of the factor for the causation of the disease. In sweet potato, wilt caused by fungus Fusarium oxysporium, tyloses in some variety are formed abundantly and quickly before the pathogen and thus brings about resistance as this prevents the further spread of the pathogen. So this diagram is showing the formation of tylosis. Next one is formation of abscissal layers. In several fungi, as a result of infection, bacteria and viruses, abscissal layers are formed in the young active leaves of stone fruits. Due to the formation of these abscissal layers in peach plant leaves by the bacterium Xanthomonas prunei or the fungus Clistosporium carpiphyllum, and in sour cherry trees due to the infection with necrotic ring spot and other viruses. There is the swelling of two layers of cells surrounding the infected spot. These cells become thin-walled while the pectic material of the middle lamella get dissolved, which result in the formation of abscissal layers. A short hole effect results from the development of abscissal layer which extends from the upper to the lower epidermis around the infected tissues and cause the latter to drop out, as in the short hole of peach caused by Clistosporium carpophyllum. Next is gum deposition. Gum deposition along the borders of disease lesions often serve as a protective demarcation and constitutes a type of mechanical resistance. In the silver leaf disease in plums caused by Styrium purpureum, the wood of the host resistance variety, produces so much gum in advance of the fungus in a relatively short time so that fungus becomes completely enclosed by an impermeable gum barrier in comparison to the susceptible variety. In varieties of rice resistance to blast disease or Helminthosporium leaf spot, gum deposits are formed in the intercellular spaces that aid in restricting the fungus to the area of primary invasion. So these are the gum deposition which act as a defense mechanism. Next one is sheathing of hyphae. Hyphae penetrating the cell wall are often enveloped in a sheath formed by the extension of cell walls and prevents the pathogen from spreading. Then it consists of cellulose, callous substance or other material. And in some cases, a sheath may be the deposition product of the cytoplasm rather than cell wall. Lignitubers may develop as protuberance on the inner wall opposite the site of the penetration. Sometimes the cell wall being penetrated by the infection, PEG swells and become tuberous or lignified. So this is the defense mechanism developed after infection. Next, we will discuss about the biochemical disease defense mechanism. Thank you.